5th edition of Strumming with Christopher. Hey everybody, Christopher Gallegos, librarian for Monterey County Free Library's Gonzales branch. So far we've gone through, if you've watched the other videos, starting from 1, 2, 5, today is the 5th. You've learned chords with me, you've learned some strumming, you've learned how to tune your guitar. Okay, so hopefully by now you all have a grasp on tuning your guitar. So, you know 5 chords. Now what? So we have a little basic strumming. We have the 1, 2, 3, 4, or the 1 down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we know last time we learned an A minor and a C, close friends. And then we have an E minor and a G and a D. So I still want to keep it simple because we're getting to a point now where teaching guitar, some things I can show you and some things I have to give you a clue, and you can take the information, run with it, make it your own. So something I want to get into is the idea of starting to put chords together. So you've seen a little bit of that. Last one, A minor, C, kind of a preview. But what about if the chords are not close together? What if you actually have to do a little bit of a jump? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to launch right into it. We know a couple minor chords and a couple major chords. Minor chords are a little bit more sad, melancholy. Major chords are happier. So I'm going to start you off with 2 minor chords that you already know. And really what this is about is putting them together. So that's a couple things. You have to know the finger, the shapes, the fingering, and then you also need to have some kind of strumming going on. First off, we're going to start with an A minor to an E minor. So we'll end up with something like this. Just starting to put things together and starting to get the idea of what a song might sound like. So let's review. A minor is your first finger, and I think in the last video I said pad of your finger. It's always the fingertip, it's not the pad. Fingertip. First finger on the B string, second string up from the bottom, okay, and then you get your ring finger. We already know this, but we're reviewing. Ring finger, you put it on the 2nd fret on the G string, 3rd string up from the bottom, and then you put your middle finger on the 2nd fret as well, right above that on the D string, and that's an A minor chord, okay? We also know our E minor chord, which is you take your index finger and your middle finger, and your index finger is going to go on the 2nd fret on the A string, which is 5th string up from the bottom, and then right under that we put our middle finger on the 2nd fret on the D string, so 4th string up from the bottom, and that's an E minor, and you can strum all 6 strings for that. Okay. So once you know those 2 shapes, there's no shortcuts here. It starts to become, I always keep talking about yoga, maybe because our wonderful librarian Sarah does yoga videos as well. But it's kind of like that, when you have a flow from posture to posture. Same thing with your left hand when you're playing guitar. You have to learn how to shift shapes. So we have our A minor chord that I just showed you. Get comfortable with that. And you're going to think about taking your hand off the guitar, and not too much, and then moving to the next chord shape. Okay, so what I want you to do is, even if you have to rewind, you can tell I grew up with VHS tapes, rewind. You want to rewind, and you want to go back and make sure you're comfortable with both chord shapes. And then what you're going to do is, I want you to start with an A minor with this strumming pattern we had last time. And just for ease, I'll have you do the 4 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And initially you're not going to be smooth, but that's what this is about. You practice the 2 shapes and you get to the point where you can move from shape to shape. Now I can't tell you how to do that, but once you know the shapes, you can figure out your own methodology as long as you know what frets your fingers are on and what fingers to use, okay? So we're going to have this A minor shape first, and I'll do it very, very slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you pick your hand up, and then think about your index finger and your middle finger moving to those 2nd frets right on below each other, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I want want you to practice those two shapes, just shifting back and forth. If strumming's too much, just do it with your left hand for a while. But then start adding that 4 downstroke strum, very slow. And initially it's probably going to look like this when you're figuring out how to transition. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you lift your hand up, 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 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the A minor. Bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. Okay, so think about taking those two chords, going from an A minor to an E minor, and if you want to mix it up, you can start doing that other strum, the 1 down, 2 up, 3 down, 4 up. It'll sound a little different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, shift. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you start getting smooth, you can add speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see what I'm getting at? Kind of like the video where I talked about strumming. Sometimes you just put a concept out there and then it gives you something to experiment with, get comfortable with. Some things with the guitar are very easy, like showing chord shapes. Other things like shifting chord shapes, you have to kind of try it for yourself. And really what you're doing is starting to get together this idea of, oh, I can string 2 chords together and it'll sound good. And I can play different rhythms, it'll sound good. Or I can put 3 together and it'll sound good. So getting into the major chords, what do we know? We know a G, a C, and a D. So again, let's review those shapes. So G, this one's a bit of a monster here, but it's okay. First finger on the A string, so 5th string up from the bottom. And first finger on the 2nd fret on the A string. Take your middle finger, go over to the 3rd fret on the thickest string, which is the 6th from the bottom, the low E. And then you take your pinky and your ring finger and you stack them on top of each other right on the 3rd fret. So remember, your pinky, ring finger, and middle finger are all on the 3rd fret, just on different strings, on the high E, B string, low E on the top, and then your index finger is on the A string, 2nd fret. Okay, once you got that shape, strum a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then we're going to move down to a C. Okay, so what is a C? Well, if you're thinking about transitioning to another chord shape, sometimes you want to think about, well, I would normally think about stacking it from the bottom up. This one, you can think of it that way, or you can say, I have a G shape. What fingers would I need to move? Well, ring finger. Got this? Ring finger down to the 3rd fret on the A string, and then move on over, and I have my middle finger on the 2nd fret on the D string, 4th from the bottom. And then I have my very first finger right here on the 1st fret on the B string, so down here. Okay, that's your C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then finally our D. And what is a D? A D is first finger on the 2nd fret, G string, ring finger on the 3rd fret on the B string, and then your middle finger on the 2nd fret on the high E. So that one looks like a little hard little cluster of stuff, but it's not too bad. So you have those 3 shapes. Now what I want you to do, kind of like with the A minor and the E minor, go ahead and start working on getting comfortable transitioning shapes. So at first you might just say, ooh, I got that. Oh, lift my whole hand up. Don't lift it too high. Think about not having a lot of distance between, just enough to where your fingers are not on the strings. And then think, okay, I have to go to another shape, a C. And then I have to shift down to these high strings and go to a D. Okay? And you can start, once you have the shifting of the shapes with your left hand, comfortable, even if it's slow. It might sound like this at first. 3, 4, lift your hand off. 1, 2, 3, 4, lift your hand off again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you have that shifting of the shapes, then you're going to start to see how combinations of chords can sound really, really nice. So here's an example, just kind of taking those 3 chords and adding a little strumming and speed to it. Not saying you have to do this, but just so you can see. So. C again, boom. Or with the A minor to your E minor, from your A minor to your D. So again, more of a concept, and again, I try to keep these videos pretty short, but that's what I want to introduce to you today. You have 5 chords that you know now. So as a base, just to get your juices flowing, go ahead and try an A minor chord and an E minor chord, experimenting with the 2 strums you already know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or the down, up, C chord, G chord, back to the G chord. No right or wrong way to do this. This is about combinations of chords and how they sound good together. And that'll get you thinking, okay, well, I know these 5 chords, so what if I want to be experimental and go from an A minor to a G? Well, that might work too. To a D. So I'm just giving you 2 examples. A minor to E minor, something to work with, and then a little bit more complicated, G to a C to a D. So 2 chords back and forth, and then 3 chords, and you start to say, wow, I know 5 chords that played in pretty much any combination. Once you get comfortable with the A minor, E minor, and the G, C, D, I can play these 3 chords in almost any combination. And one last tip, D chord, only play the bottom 4 strings, and A minor, only play 5 strings and not the low E. A lot of information, but I know y'all can get it because you've been following along here very, very well. Thank you all so much for your time. So great to see you, and hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye.